real estate. He's actually on the streets, pounding the pavement just like everybody else. And his name is with us today is Mike Stott. If I said that right, hopefully I said that right. So he is here today. And just a little bit about Mike really quick, and he can share some more. But Mike has sold over 3,200 homes, 100 of them in Georgia. He's currently in Atlanta, Georgia, and 3,100 in Hawaii. Mike, I don't know why you left Hawaii, but we won't go there today. Has been a coach for Mike Ferry for 3 years, not currently, but he started his own thing in 2009. And just currently, he just shared with me he listed 3 FSBOs last week, and he's got a couple other testimonials that he's going to share with us today. Mike, man, I'm excited to have you here, and welcome to the call, my friend.
Yeah, and I'm excited to be here, too. And just a couple of rules of orders. Ask any questions you want in the questions button. Just type your questions up. What we plan on this webinar lasting 45 to 50 minutes, and then questions and answers after that. At the end of the presentation, what you're going to see is my actual personal cell phone, an email address. If you have any other questions, you'll get that. And for some of you, if you've seen the Zero Resistance FSBO course before, we have a special offer at the end of this that you haven't seen anywhere else before, because Scott beat me up a little on pricing and benefits that we offer.
There you go.
And you know, hey, you guys are investing an hour of your time with me. We're all busy. It's beautiful weather. Our markets are hot. And for sale by owners are selling on their own. And the question might be, why should you pay, really focus attention and take notes for the next hour? Because if you're going to work FSBOs, you need to be really good at them in this marketplace. And they are selling on their own, and the dance has changed, but it is still a valuable piece of anybody's income streams for their business. What you're going to get in this workshop that's full of content is an understanding of why you should work for sale by owners. Just why would you even want to work with them? You're going to get some templates that you can use immediately today to start getting appointments. No cost, no charge. They're so simple. They're genius, and you're going to say, oh, why didn't I think of that if you haven't already thought of it? We're going to give you some no-conflict scripts that you can use to get the FSBOs to listen to what you have to say. See, my basic understanding with for sale by owners is that they just don't know what they don't know. And, a killer question that I use oftentimes with them is, what are you going to do if the buyer sues you after closing? And they've never thought about that. It gets them thinking about what they don't know. So it's not a conflict script. You're allowed to raise doubt without telling them they're wrong. Hope that makes sense. You're going to get a lot of third-party and celebrity social proofs you can use to help convert the for sale by owner to let them discover that they might not be doing the thing that's going to net them the most money on this transaction. And you're going to get some statistics that you can leverage to get the for sale by owner to realize that you can help them, that you can support them in what they're trying to do. So if you're looking for the bold scripts or the Mike Ferry scripts or those real hardcore scripts, you're not in the right place. If you're looking for getting into conversation and coming from a spirit of contribution and helping for sale by owners discover how we add value to the transaction, and in the right place, take notes. Let's make this the most valuable 45 minutes you spend this week. We've had some recent classes and comments. Shannon Pyatt's had been on fire this week. I took one FSBO listing and went on another appointment. I think I may have him signing up. Jim Steele said he got a $350,000 program using the emails. The course is awesome. Not me, it's the course. Dave Wakeman got 7 responses out of 42 emails and 2 appointments set up. The owners have all been positive. I'm not going to promise that for everybody, but what you are going to discover is that the for sale by owners generally are nice. A guy in a smaller market in Iowa is averaging a listing a month, and Heather has gotten the for sale by owners to pick up the phone to call her. And so, this course works for everybody. These statistics work across the country. We've had over 1,200 people buy it in the United States and Canada. So yes, if we have any Canadian friends, it does work there also. I've actually had somebody in Belgium use it. New Zealand, Australia, and Mexico also have used the course. And what's really great is as you learn to work with for sale by owners, you're going to learn that you can list any home, expired, for sale by owner, past client, a referral, with less struggle and more confidence because of what you learned today. You'll have 35 years of real estate experience with over 3,100 homes sold and over 10,000 coaching calls. I'm an accredited coach. I went through the Academy for Coaching Excellence, and I'm a certified International Coach Federation coach. I worked for Mike Ferry for a number of years, and then after that I went and I got this 2-year degree afterwards because it is a very powerful, they had a lot of very powerful tools to use in the sales world, and you'll get hints of them today and then throughout the course if you choose to participate. And just realize that 1,300 agents have taken this course and are taking listings every day. You can too. There's no real magic to it. Obviously, your confidence and your skill level affects results, but it's designed to get you up and really skillful and really confident quickly, no matter where you're starting from, whether you've sold 10,000 homes in your career or this might be your first one, you're in the right place. Since January 1st, 2013, I've contacted 2 to 3 for sale by owners on average a day. Just it. So those of you that are looking on Craigslist or Zillow and you're saying I'm only finding, 5 to 15 for sale by owners a week, that's all I'm finding. Okay? Sorry, the sold buttons. I've listed 89 of them and sold 86 of them so far, and the other 3 are actively on the market. I have 6 hot leads that will be listing hopefully with me or with somebody in the next 30 days. I also have 71 others that I'm following up with, and I checked my numbers yesterday. So if I'm talking to a FSBO every week, that's only 12 contacts a day. And I've signed up 72 rentals to my property management department. Now I'm fortunate because I know how to run a property management department, and not all of you have it, but we were able to create a property management department here in Georgia because for sale by owners couldn't sell for a long time in Georgia because our prices were so low. I've made over $70,000 in leasing fees and now collecting $5,000 a month in management fees. This is all in addition to the 86 closings in the last 2 years. So the question I want you to ask yourself,
That's awesome.
and answer, if you guys would just shoot into the question section, how much money would you make if you sold an additional 20 houses in the next 12 months?
Man, oh geez, 60,000?
Yeah, if you're making
minimum
5,000 or
2,000,
4,000, yeah, you're talking
right.
Lots and lots of money. I'm seeing 200,000. I'm seeing 120,000, 80,000. Put that number and put it in your head as to how much money you could make if you sold an additional 20 houses next year. So
absolutely.
Here's the question. We've all been told there's for sale by owners out there, and all of us have driven by a for sale by owner, and because our cars are equipped with those fancy brakes, they don't let us slow down and stop. Okay? Any German-made car or American-made or Japanese or Korean-made car knows if an agent's driving it that it's not supposed to stop at a for sale by owner. And we say to ourselves, we'd like to work with them, and then we drive by the next week and we see a competitor sign in the front yard. It's happened to all of us. And so I started asking myself, why haven't we prospected for sale by owners? Well, there's a basic fear of rejection. We've heard lots of things about for sale by owners. There's call reluctance. I can honestly say I've been coaching. My wife and I have coached over 20,000 coaching calls. I worked with Mike Ferry as my coach for 1996 to 2006, and then as a coach for 13 years. And in all that time, in the thousands of agents that I met, I have less than 10 that wake up and say, I want a cold call today. I just haven't met that many people. And many of us tried for sale by owners at some point in our career. It's generally we were new agents. Our manager said, go talk to for sale by owners. And we didn't know what to say. We didn't know how to say it. We didn't know when to say it. And so we said, well, we need some training because we're not getting any results. And the training we got actually evolved in the 1970s. When the franchises came out in the 70s, they needed training material. And they went to the only industry they could find that was in sales that had trainers, which was the life insurance and the car salesman industry. So all of our scripts and all of our dialogues prepared us to go into battle. Okay? When are you going to hire the right agent for the job of getting your home sold? And we were told to prove for sale by owners wrong. And who likes to be proven wrong? None of us. In fact, somebody tells me I'm wrong, my initial reaction is, I'm going to show you how right I am. And some trainers even taught us to lie to the for sale by owner. Sure, I have a buyer. And then I'd ask an agent, hey, you pretend to be a buyer with this for sale by owner. The next one, I'll pretend to be the buyer. Well, how are you going to get any results if you're lying at the beginning of the conversation? If you're arguing with them from the very beginning, you're going to get bad results. And so then you go to the other agents in the office and you ask them, hey, what's your experience with for sale by owners? And they tell you, oh, they're horrible to work with. You don't want to do them. They're overpriced. They're mean. They're nasty. They're crazy. And we certainly didn't have a system that gave us the tools to stay in touch with them in a non-confrontational manner, so we didn't get good results. In fact, we got horrible results. We got no sales, and we got people yelling at us and hanging up on us. So we stopped working this lead source altogether. Okay, so, I mean, honestly, guys, if I were to ask you right now, what are a typical real estate agent's thought about a for sale by owner? We're going to tend to picture somebody angry, shaking their finger, frothing at the mouth, red in the face, and we're going to say things like they're unrealistic, they're overpriced, they're pushy, they're stubborn, they're crazy, they're just trying to save money. You know, why are they bothering me? I'm upside down. That salesperson is rude. They're dreamers. They don't understand what it's going to take to get, you know, the house sold, and they're mean. I mean, so what do you think the for sale by owner thinks of the typical real estate agent? It's Larry Lounge Lizard here, and we're stubborn. We're not worth it. It can't be that hard to sell a house if this guy can do it. They're crazy. They're rude. They're overpaid. I did it before. I can do it again. I can net more if I sell it on my own. They don't care about me. They're pushy. And so it's easy to see the potential for conflict, isn't it? Everybody say
Absolutely.
yes. Don't type it in. Just ask, you know, yourself. Of course we can see conflict with it. And so I don't know about you, but I did not wake up this morning. It was my wife's birthday, and we went to dinner in the Avengers last night with a couple of my kids and got home late. And I woke up early because I had my networking meeting and to prepare for this. I did not wake up and say, I need more conflict in my life. And I don't think any of us do. And so we created this program to actually get emails like this. Okay, so Melissa Johnson, I had been in contact with for a couple of weeks, and I gave her, this is called the 5 reasons script. There's a 5th reason now. Somebody gave me a better idea. And 8:09, she said, I'm actually looking for an agent as we're now at the stage where the bank has told us to go ahead with the process, knowing it's going to be a short sale. I'm looking for an expert in that process. So I actually listed this house for $239. We sold it for $235. They've actually, this was about 2.5 years ago, they just bought a house in South Carolina, and they're still grateful and thankful to me for helping them out of the financial mess they were in. How many emails like this would you like to receive? Now, maybe we don't want to work short sales any longer, but for sale by owners, it said, something's changed. Now we're ready to list with an agent. Paula wrote, it's Brazilian, I finally heard from our contract yesterday, and we won't have the flexibility to sell by owner. We have to move out of the state earlier than we thought, and therefore I must hire a realtor this week and schedule an open house as soon as possible. If you want to be considered by me, please answer these questions. So their monkey mind is telling me, hey, I need to still be in control. So I answered the questions. I called them up. I went and I took the listing, $189,000, sold for $189,000. Okay, she ran her first ad in December. What was so funny about this, and said she tried to sell on her own for 3 months and then list with the discount broker, and a month later, everything had changed. So sales nugget here. No today doesn't mean no forever, because people's life situations change.
You know what's funny about that, Mike, is it's sad that people give up after somebody says no, and they actually let other people, like that slide you had before us, dictate their success or failures. Because
Yeah,
if you know, it's
absolutely.
not that. I mean, they don't know you, like you, or trust you. So you let a no say, well, this strategy doesn't work. When in reality, like you said, the best part of what you said about 71 in process that you're following up with, you're actually following up with them. And most people just let them go and try to get the quick buck. When one FSBO could be 4 or 5 referrals in the next 2 years, it's just so
Absolutely.
crazy
I have
how big that
a
could
for
get.
sale by owner right now that listed his house. He bought another listing of mine, and he's referred his brother to him. So it's actually been 4 sides for contacting and staying in touch with one FSBO. Now, it wasn't a huge sale. It was $130,000, but he bought a $210,000 listing, and his brother bought a $300,000 house. So between the 3 of them, it was a little over, or 3 different sales, 2 sides on one of them. It was over $800,000 in volume. So I like making $20,000, $24,000 for staying in touch. So what we've done is we've created a 3-step zero resistance system. Is how do you get them chasing you rather than you chasing them? And I will admit, in this market, we do a little bit more chasing than I used to 2 years ago. Step number 2 is getting the appointment. And step number 3 is what to say on the appointment and how to have success. So here's the initial email. For those of you that are waiting for the magic, this is it. If I brought you a buyer, would you be willing to pay me a 3% commission? Or a variation on it is, how much of a commission are you offering a real estate agent if we bring you a buyer? Wishing you success, Mike. Now, in the state of Georgia, I have to put all my sales information in and all that sort of stuff, but it's real simple. It's real short. So this is what we call FSBO number 1. Just, are you offering a commission if a real estate agent brings you a buyer? And they can answer yes, no, or what do you mean? But they're going to respond. The reason why the response is so important is my best source of FSBOs is Craigslist. I think everybody across the country is going to agree that it's going to be Craigslist, and then maybe Zillow or forsalebyowner.com or militaryowner.com, depending on where you are in the country. Okay? We recommend to get them to contact you and respond back is that you email every for sale by owner every 3 to 4 days an email and or a phone call for a 30 to 45 day cycle. At the end of 6 weeks, if you've got no response, I recommend you dump them. Okay, but usually you'll get a response. In fact, that first email gets a response 20 to 40% of the time. So if you email 10 of them a week, you're going to have 2 to 4 for sale by owners talking to you.
Awesome numbers.
You'll want to vary your email messages and scripts and mix up your messages. This is why I don't recommend an automatic drip campaign. Now, I know some of you we have 27 emails in the system, and you make a drip campaign out of them, but each person is different, and I recommend that you keep it on a little bit more of a personal level, because after all, I'm only following up with 10 to 12 a day. It takes me 20 minutes to do my calls and follow-ups. It's not a big deal. And this may sound like a lot, but when you have the system, it becomes very easy to manage. It can be done in 30 minutes a day or less. In fact, most days I do it 7:30 to 8 in the morning, and then from 8 to 9 I do all my other lead follow-up and prospecting, including my for sale by owners, and then I'm done for the day because I coach. I have a full-time real estate coaching business, and this year, the next 12 months, my goal is to sell 40 homes. And, 40 homes at an average price of, $200,000, you can see the numbers work very well. Here's a sample,
awesome.
another one of the 27 emails. I'm sorry if I'm over-talking to you, Scott.
Oh, no worries, man. No, I want to get through this because there's so much content here.
Yeah, so here's what happened. This guy responded, and he said, well, how much do you charge? And my standard response is this: nothing. But he happened to say he was getting married, and he gave me some things, so I personalized it real quickly. Where I said, I love the area and the complex, and I really do. It's in a neat spot here in Roswell, Georgia. And the challenges you face, and one as a mortgage broker, he's also a mortgage broker, that said he didn't want to list with an agent because he didn't want to piss off any of his friends, is the buyers won't show your, agents and buyers won't show your unit due to the fact that commissions are negotiable. You have increased liability with no errors and omission insurance, and more work to do as the agent on both sides. In addition, at $212,500 plus a monthly homeowners association, many buyers prefer a single-family home, But here's what I charge, nothing, zero, until I find a buyer, get them pre-qualified, negotiate on your behalf, do the paperwork, get the offer accepted, do the inspections, and any further negotiations, get ready for closing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then and only then will I ask for 3%, and generally the buyer's agent asks for 3% also. The real question should be, how much money will you net and put in your pocket from this sale, and how can I make this process as smooth as possible? I have over 33 years of experience and over 3,000 happy clients who will tell you I net you the most money possible while doing the work. Let's get together and chat, no obligation, about how we might be able to work together. And just so you know, I'm completely honest here, this guy sold it without my help. But, you know,
Awesome.
I was in the game.
Sure.
I was in the game.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the only way to get in the game is to put it out there, you know, and try to get that face-to-face relationship.
Great. So why do these emails work like gangbusters? They're short and sweet, mostly. There's one that's, you know, a page and a half with a lot of marketing ideas. They convey a potential benefit or solution to the reader, and there's a clear expectation of a response. That first one is just a yes-no response. Rex Hunter says, you're the best. This is the greatest response rate I've ever experienced with any training program. Adam says, he got off the phone. It looks like she may be listing with me, and she's doing a happy dance. We also give you a call script, and it's real simple. Scott, you want to play along with me?
Absolutely.
Can you channel your inner FSBO?
Can I channel? Dude, I got it. I'm all set.
Okay, so here's we'll set it up. Scott has a $350,000 listing 5 minutes from my office. I want this listing. It should sell for $340 to $355 depending on condition. But here's the deal. Scott lost his job. His wife is being transferred to Dallas. And she and he decided that they were going to sell their house on their own as his contribution to the family. They've painted it for the last week. It's spiffy. It's really nice. They put the ads in Craigslist. Yesterday, I sent them FSBO number 1. He responded 3%. I'm going to call him, you know, today. And as he left, as his wife left for work this morning, she said, don't talk to any real estate agents. So Scott, you got that? You got that character in line right there?
I got it. Yep.
Remember, who is Scott more afraid of? Me, a voice on the phone, or his wife, who told him not to talk to real estate agents?
His wife.
Absolutely. So here it is.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's Mike Stott with Northwest Atlanta Properties. I'm calling about the house for sale. Is this the owner?
Yes, it is. Hey, I'm not working with any real estate agents.
I got you 100%. Are you cooperating with agents, though, if they brought you a buyer?
You know, my wife said to not work with real estate agents, so I'd have to run that by her, man. You know, happy wife, happy life. You know what I'm saying?
I understand, and I got you completely. You're not sure, but, you know, most real estate agents, you know, have most of the buyers in this marketplace. So let me ask you, you know, I saw your ad on Craigslist. Where else are you advertising the house?
We got a sign out front, and that's about it. I'm hoping we can, you know, generate some buyers by that.
Great, and you know, if I were to give you a list of 17 potential places you could advertise your house on for free, no obligation, I can email it or I can drop it off to you later today. Would you be interested in that list?
I think that would help us out a lot. I think my wife would really appreciate that too.
Yeah, sure. And you know, here's how I work. And your name's Scott, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, I work with for sale by owners, and I know in this market, there's a 3 to 4 chance out of 10 that you're able to sell on your own without an agent listing your house. Now, most of those sales are going to have a real estate agent bringing you a buyer, which is why you should consider offering at least a buyer's commission, if not hiring an agent outright. But I know out of the other 6 people, either 5 or 6 people that don't sell on their own, that some of them are going to end up hiring a real estate agent. And what I want to do is prove to you that we're different. I'm going to offer you a lot of service. And if you can sell on your own, I'm going to shake your hand and say congratulations. And if you don't, I'm going to be here ready to interview and earn your business if you reach that point. Does that sound fair enough?
That sounds fair. I guess I would just, I would love to have those 17 different places.
Hey, what's your email address, and I'll get them over to you right now.
Awesome. Awesome. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So where was the conflict in that script?
The conflict was the wife, really. I mean, that's the whole, yeah.
And so here's why getting this conversation and getting in the door is the National Association of Realtors every year publishes their profile of home buyers and sellers. Comes out late November. And I order this book in early November, and I anxiously await for it. I download it. By the way, guys, it costs like $20 or $50. Get it every year. But year in and year out, they tell all sorts of statistics, and we're going to see some of them here. But look at this. 70% of the agents, 70%, excuse me, of the listing people list and interview one agent and one agent only before they hire the agent to sell their home. 70%. 95% interview 3, 2, or 1. So since the community views us as a homogeneous product, I mean, a RE/MAX agent might be a little different from a Century 21 agent, might be a little different from a Keller Williams agent, but we're all sort of the same. Once you get in the door and you show them you're a little bit different, that you're there to offer service, you earn the listing if they decide they're going to. It's really, that's the secret, guys. Go talk to people that are thinking about selling, and you have, if you're one of 3, you have a 95% chance of taking that listing. Wow. Those are some strong numbers. And then, you know, the proof is in the numbers, is look at this. 92%, 90% of all sales are made with a real estate agent listing the home. Because here's what we see, is 49% of the for sale by owners, the seller knew the buyer before they put the home on the market. So only half of what we call for sale by owners are what we're chasing after. You know, people that put a sign in the yard, put an ad in Craigslist. The other half of for sale by owners are divorce sales, estate sales left to people. It's where they didn't go through a real estate agent, but it was a sweetheart deal. And if you look, 88% of all, you know, the 89% sold home using a listing agent or a broker, but if you subtracted that 4 or 5% that never went on the market, that bumps us up to over 90% of all sales are made with a real estate agent. So I want to tell you, this is proof that we add value. America, let me ask you this question. Scott, when was the last time you plugged an 8-track into your car stereo?
I don't know that I ever did, to be honest with you.
Okay, how about a cassette tape into your car deck?
Cassette tape, 20 years ago.
How about your CD into your car?
CD, a couple years ago.
How about your MP3 player plugged into your car?
Yesterday.
And or is it connected by Bluetooth now?
Bluetooth, yes, it is.
Okay.
Bluetooth now.
When was the last time anybody on this call called their travel agent to book a trip from wherever they live to Dallas or to D.C.? We don't, things that don't add value go away in America. And I remember I'm good friends with Bill Chi, who was president of Prudential Locations in Hawaii. In 1999, he gave the favorite speech when he was president of the National Association of Realtors. A lion is coming over the hill, and the internet may replace real estate agents. Yet you're going to see that since in the last 20 years, the number of for sale by owners has dropped by half. And then I want you to think about this. A bank. Scott, does your bank continually add little garbage fees and nuisance fees and take away tellers and make you use the ATMs and all that sort of stuff?
Absolutely, every day.
Okay, a bank is in the business of making money. Right. They're in the business of being in business. But when they foreclose on a property or they have a client that has a short sale, they use a real estate agent 100% of the time, and they pay us our full commissions, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So, Mr. For Sale by Owner, have you considered that if a bank considers it's a good financial decision to hire somebody like me to sell their house, that you might not have thought of something that the bank has thought of?
Man,
I mean,
that's great. I love that line.
If this isn't proof that we add value, I don't know what is, guys. I mean, the banks themselves. And then 90%. So I actually had a for sale by owner once. He was really stubborn. You guys are going to laugh this. And I said, you know, hey, look, either 90% of all Americans and all the banks are way dumber than you, and you know something that they don't know, or you should reconsider. And he says, they're all idiots. And I said, sir, you sound like the sort of guy that if you had a brain tumor, you'd buy a drill and drill it out of your head yourself. Now, he laughed because he sounded like Popeye, and he ended up being like a 70-year-old merchant marine. But once I had him laughing, he let me come over, and he says, "I like you. You're different. You're not like all those other." He used a swear word, then rhymes with pay moles. So, but he hired me, and we had a good time because I didn't quit when he gave me the standard objections. Okay?
Yep.
And in fact, if we look at the same National Association of Realtors studies, from 2006 to 2014, we net them an average of 23.24% more than they do on their own. Now, the study is skewed. There's no doubt about it, because higher price sales, for those of you that study for sale by owners, if your average market price is $200,000, it's rare to see a for sale by owner over $500,000. People with money know the value we add. But look at this statistic. All for sale by owners sold for $208,700. Those that quit for sale by owner and then hired an agent sold for $222,900, or $14,800 more after the for sale by owner gave up and listed. And that puts 6.8% more money in their pocket. So,
Crazy.
Mr. For Sale by Owner, I'm not making these numbers up. You can look at them. They're verifiable. But why do you think for sale by owners, when they gave up, they were unable to sell on their own, netted more money when they listed with a real estate agent?
Yeah.
Then you shut up.
Yeah.
So, again, I promise you guys some statistics and some proof. Dave Ramsey. Those of you guys that know of Dave Ramsey, has radio and TV shows and newspaper columns. He's a noted cheapskate. He's been a real estate agent for 30 years. And I won't read you the letter. If you want to find it, you can get the course, or you can hunt Dave Ramsey FSBO letter on the internet. But he says, between basic pricing mistakes, pricing errors, and lack of negotiation skills, you'll cost yourself more than the agent's commission by trying to sell it yourself. Wow, what a social proof. This is one of my favorites. If there was ever a guy in the history of the universe who would sell for sale by owner, it's Colby Somprato. And he was the founder of ForSaleByOwner.com. And he had a $2 million apartment in New York City that he tried to sell on his own for 6 months. He couldn't. He listed with a real estate broker who raised the price $150,000 and then found the buyer himself and double-ended the deal. Okay? Wow. Talk about hilarious. $129,000 in commission, the guy who founded ForSaleByOwner.com did. Now, for those of you that are RE/MAX, I've only been able to find this through RE/MAX Partners Marketing Department. In 2003, USA Today did a column that said, for sale by owner can be a hard sell. Agents often worth their weight in commissions. We didn't know what we were doing. We thought it would be easier. I would go through a broker again, not a question. After she took over, it was such a relief. So all these articles are out there. Steve Harney, good friend of mine from Keeping Current Matters, great guy. I love him to death. He does the best infographics. He's funny as all heck. He's a great speaker if you ever get a chance to hear him. He did this infographic using the NAR and Google statistics. Percentage of homes selling as a FSBO has decreased from 19% to 9% over the last 20 years with the advent of the internet. And then he shows the same statistics that I've shown you in a different, more digestible form. But talk about proof that we add value. HomeGain did a recent survey of 400 homeowners and found that you're twice as likely to sell a home using a realtor than selling it on your own. 85% of homeowners who used an agent to try to sell their home would use an agent again. 89% said they'd use a realtor. 22%, and this is one of the few statistics that I can verify, I've seen apocryphal evidence from 22% is the lowest number on up to 70% of FSBOs eventually decided to enlist the aid of a realtor to help sell their home. But I'm going to use this 20% from now on. And 55% of unsuccessful homeowners who enlisted the aid of a realtor were able to sell their home. So realize that in a good market, when the for sale by owner failed, over half of them, when they hired a real estate agent, and generally the agents that work for sale by owners are new and not experienced like most of us on this call, 55% of them were able to sell. So I got to ask you a question. I mean, I've been going on for 30 minutes now, and I sort of feel like I've been giving you the fire hose. I mean, just pumping information out there to you. And I want to give you guys a chance to ask questions and, you know, see everything and get it answered. But I just want to take a breath and do a quick review for a second. I decided, you know, hey, how do we work this? And I put together a special package, and it gives you all the statistics and everything we showed you, plus a lot more. And it's to help you take the for sale by owner to working with them to the next level in your business so that you can win and work with them. And what it includes is a lot of stuff. So when you sign up, we recorded a course that we did in February of this year, and it's in 3 modules. And you get week 1, week 2, and week 3, and you get all this stuff and mindset and statistics and a lot more of it, and I'll show you some more in a second. And in week 2, you get a 2-hour recording with videos and role plays and scripts and objection handling techniques. And week 3, you actually get 2 PowerPoint presentations or keynote presentations that will show you what to say on the first appointment you go with the for sale by owner, and then on the second appointment, and a lot of bonus material. Step 1 is just getting them to understand that you might add value and that they should talk to you. And so we'll cover the mindset of the for sale by owners in much greater detail than what we did today, and how to use it to your advantage. How to use the thought that all agents are the same to show that you're different and earn their business. And it's done in, you know, we do an MP3, we do an MP4 so you can watch the video. And what we'll give you is all sorts of statistical data. We showed you about a quarter of it that you can use to stack the deck in your favor. Now, I'm a numbers person. I love numbers, but there's a lot of agents out there that don't. So we also teach you in week 2 the scripts, the things to say, handouts that you can give them. So in week 2, when you do the bonus materials, you get the Dave Ramsey FSBO article. You'll get 12 closes. You'll get the NAR report. You'll get the phone script. You'll get, you know, literally hundreds of pages of support material. And we'll actually, on week 2, answer some of your objections, play through the script on the phone live, and then talk about your successes and your challenges that you've had. And in week 3, we teach you exactly what to say when you meet with them. Now, I believe in a 2-step listing appointment with the for sale by owner. First one, you go out whenever you can get in. Usually both spouses aren't there anyways. So you meet them, you show them you're a little different, you give them a lot of value, and you ask them some questions, and I'll show you exactly what to ask in just a minute. And then you reschedule, maybe now or maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks later, the actual listing appointment. And, you know, the question you might be asking is, where do I get the leads? Well, I actually put together a little 20-minute video that says some suggestions on how to find FSBOs to contact. And we show you exactly how to find them in your area in Craigslist. We show you how to find them on Zillow, on FSBO.com, and a lot of the different websites. If you're in Canada, we talk about Mace Data Systems, we talk about LandVoice, we talk about RedX, we talk about Vulcan 7, we talk about, you know, Trulia, all the sources that you can find FSBO leads. But let me tell you, this will work if you can find as few as 5 FSBOs a week in your marketplace. That's all you really need to do to make it work. Okay, so we'll show you how to find the leads and then how to put them into your database. And you get lifetime access to the course. This course has been around for about 3 years. It's been updated constantly. At least once a year, I teach it live. Most years I'll do it twice. And we update it and put the newest version. And you'll also get the old versions in there also. Okay, but you get lifetime access. As long as I'm in real estate, which I'm planning on another 15, 20 years, I'll keep updating this course and keep giving you vital new information as well as the statistics. You get lots of support material. See, people, one of the reasons why, Scott, people don't go is they don't feel like they have anything of value to give to them.
Absolutely.
So one of the items we did is I wrote a book, and I updated it for 2015. It's about a 60-page booklet, and you get it in Word. So you put your name, your picture, your credentials on it, and when you open the book, you write a letter that says here in Dallas or here in Maryland or whatever your area is, and you customize the book so that you become the local expert. Now, it's a 60-page book. What I do is I print up each year 3 to 4 copies in hardcover. Cost me about $250. I use a site called blurb.com, and I get a hardcover book, and then I'll print up about 10 just paper covers of it. And for the FSBOs I really want, I'll give them a hard copy cover of the book, and I say, I'll need to get this in another week, in a week or 10 days. When should I come back to pick it up? And I make it like a library book. Okay, so there's a built-in reason to follow up. But it establishes you as the expert in the area. It is not a sales pitch to use your real estate services. It is honestly 100% what I would do if I were going to sell my house on the own without using a real estate agent. Okay, and it talks about everything. But in it, talks about, hey, ask your real estate agent if they'll reduce their commission. If you don't want to get into that conversation, delete it from the book. It's your book. That's the joy of it.
Right.
And then I also gave, there's 70 pages of what we call the FSBO diaries. And in it, for 2 years, I kept track of the responses, and when we gave the class live, the responses they got as to, hey, the for sale by owner said this, how should you respond, when they responded to one of the email series. And you get a virtual diary or a template of how to work with the for sale by owners no matter what they say. But the basic thing is the initial goal of any conversation you get into with a FSBO is simply to set an appointment to meet them face-to-face. Why? Because we're all more effective selling face-to-face than we are over the phone, and definitely than via email. Now, some of you have FSBOs that are out of state, and we'll teach you, you can use any of the video online or just the phone service. But you get a whole bunch of back and forth so that you can copy it if you need to. So here's in week 3 what we teach, or module 3. So I've gone on the FSBO appointment, Scott, so you let me come over without your wife really knowing. Okay? And it's right. It's 4:45. I've seen the house in 15 minutes. I've given you the free FSBO ad sites. We're happy. We're having fun. And you're sitting there going, oops, I need to get you out of here. So you're at the front door. Your left hand on the door. Your right hand making a shooing motion behind my back. And I turn around like Columbo, those of you that remember the detective, and say, there's just one thing, Scott. What's the biggest advantage to you in selling on your own? And you're going to have to answer what?
Yeah, making more money, saving the commissions.
Yeah, I mean saving the commission.
Not having to pay the commissions. Yeah.
And at $350,000, saving $10,000 or $20,000, that's a lot of money, isn't it, Scott?
That's a lot of money. Absolutely.
I agree. So let me ask you, what would be the biggest advantage a buyer would have in buying direct from you? And they look at you like a deer in the headlights because they hadn't thought about that. But if you poke them and you let them struggle, what are they going to come up with? Maybe they'll save a little bit of the same commission.
Right, yeah, right.
That's 6%, and they go, then I ask,
great, price.
And that sounds fair. It sounds like you're a good, reasonable business person. And let me ask you, is there any possible disadvantage to you in continuing to try to sell on your own? They go, huh? And you say, well, and then the third slide, and this is an 11-slide thing, says, who has the advantage in negotiations? You with one home to sell, or the buyer with the money and options to choose from with other houses? Wow, that gets you into the conversation. So at the end of that, we teach you how to set up the appointment for the real listing presentation, and we give you a listing presentation that's 32 pages long. You can modify it for all your listings. It's generic, so if you're with RE/MAX or Keller Williams or Coldwell Banker or Berkshire Hathaway, you can modify it. It's in PowerPoint and Keynote. But, it talks about, it shows this slide, all the experts say to hire an agent. And it shows, when you use this and you do this, you're going to start getting emails like this. But so here's Bob Campbell. He says he took the 4-week class in January and February. I was able to set 5 appointments the first week after sending out the first email. I've stayed in touch with almost all those potential sellers as I've added more in the week since. I just got this forwarded email this afternoon from one of the first 5 and wanted to share it with you. Thanks for the system. And then Lauren said, Bob, with all your persistence, you're winning me over. I would like to set up a time for you to meet with my wife and me and see about getting this house sold. Again, as Scott mentioned earlier, stay in touch. Don't take your first no. Here's another one, Dave Jackson. 2 appointments and 1 listing this week. So far, less direct, softer, and more effective than bold. And I love bold, but this is a different approach. And for those of you that are in strong Keller Williams markets, why do you want to be like everybody else? Okay? So who does this work for? The action taker. Those of you that are saying, hey, I want to work for sale by owners, you're ready to get started, we're going to show you how in just a minute. How about the professional agent that's doing 5, 10, 15 million a year that wants to add another income stream? The brand new agent looking for a niche to excel in. I promise you, you do the 3 2-hour periods and you review the material, and during those 2 or 3 weeks that you're learning, you go and visit 10 for sale by owners, you will be excellent at working with for sale by owners. Just students of the real estate business that want to learn a new script, a new dialogue, a new thought process. Those who are always striving to improve and customize their business. I mean, guys, I've sold a lot of houses, but I still take courses every year looking for the word or the phrase that's going to help me help people make the decision to work with me. And these are the kind of agents who do really, really well with this program. Will the downloads work for me? Yes, if you have a recent version of Microsoft Office. Now, I've tested this back as far as Office 2003. If you have Office 1999, it's time to get a newer version. Okay, if you have Adobe Acrobat Reader, the answer is yes. It also works great on a Macintosh. If you can open up Word and read a PDF and you have PowerPoint or Keynote, everything will work for you. That's it is. I give a lot of support, guys. First of all, you're going to get my personal email and phone number. I'm still doing this every week. On Tuesdays from 11 to 12 each week, you're going to be on a list where you're going to be able to get support from me. I'll give you a webinar. I use Meeting Burner. We send you out the instructions how to log on. This morning from 11 to 11:50 or so, I had 7 people on the call asking me questions about how to implement the system, how to work with a buyer that has no cash. You know, anything's fair game. I sort of consider it like Dr. Laura or Dr. Phil. It's a radio call-in show, but we just do a webinar. And I will provide that every Tuesday I'm in town. For the next, I am out of town for 2 weeks at the end of June, but I will have somebody else hosting it, another one of our coaches from our company. But every week you have office hours. You should always use email support. I mean, I don't know of any other course that offers you the opportunity to talk live on a scheduled basis. You'll get a like-minded community of powerful listing agents. You guys already belong to a great group, but I have a subgroup that's another group just for zero resistance for sale by owners and expireds. We have over 800 members in it, and you can ask questions and interact with each other and get my interaction also. So let me ask you, if all I did was help you win 1 FSBO, you wouldn't have won just by doing this material, and had sellers chasing you instead of you chasing them, and added value to every conversation with a potential seller so that they thanked you for calling, and you positioned yourself as the expert agent who was truly different, and had that seller know exactly how working with you gets their home sold, makes them more money, what would that mean towards your business? And I think the overwhelming answer means that we'd make more money, we'd have a lot more fun. Okay? Because the best way to stay motivated in real estate is to have a closing check every week. I promise you. Okay, so what's one listing sold worth to you? $4,000, $6,000, $10,000 or more? And ask yourself, what's it worth to you and your business to have the ability to know how to list 1, 2, or even 4 FSBOs a month? It's going to be a lot of money. So the question is, how much does this cost? And I wanted you guys to get in. You know, we've been 50 minutes, and you've been with me. Thank you for being patient. And I'm going to tell you the truth here. I've sold 1,300 of these courses at $197. But you get lifetime access for $149 so long as you take action and I think we'll keep this up for a couple of days, but if you go to agentmastermind.com/FSBO and use the code AMM, we're going to reduce the cost because Scott, I don't know how you did this, from $197 to $149. I want you to know this is a one-time only charge.
I really sincerely appreciate you doing this, man.
Yeah,
for the members.
It's a one-time only charge for the people on this webinar. There's no monthly fees. There's no $29 a month. There's no anything else. You get lifetime access. You get support. You will be around, you know, and take full advantage of it. Here's my guarantee to you. I stand behind this system 100%. And I have no problem offering you a 60-day unconditional money-back guarantee. You sign up today. You go to agentmastermind.com/FSBO. Use the code AMM. You get it for $149. Use it for 30 days, 31 days, 59 days, 23 hours, and 23 minutes. You send me an email and say, I want a refund. What I'm going to do is I'm going to email you back and say, what didn't work for you? I'm always trying to get this program to be the best it can possibly be. I've had very few refund requests, but in every case, it was one of two reasons. One is it wasn't what I expected, because it's not a magic bullet, guys. You have to work. You have to hunt the FSBOs. You have to get in touch with them. You're going to have to talk to them. There's no magic website. There's no magic formula, but we teach you how to do everything that we've taught you today. The second reason is they said, I've just decided I'm not going to stay in the business any longer. Now, I want you to know, I know that there's some of you out there considering buying this as a last-ditch gasp to stay in real estate, and I value that so much, and that's why I offer all the service and the support. I want you to be successful in real estate. But if it helps you make the decision to get out of real estate, that's okay too, okay? We want you to make the best decision for you and your family. You can develop a system. Marnetta said, great job, love the organization. I needed a system and love all your scripts and dialogues. Because we'll talk to you about how to organize your email folders. We'll talk to you how to organize your database. We'll talk to you about your scripts and dialogues. And, you know, Fred Davis says your system works like a champ. I sent out 8 emails and received 4 replies and have 2 appointments. Much easier than what I usually do by either cold calling or knocking on their door. agentmastermind.com/FSBO, and then enter the code AMM. Now, this is my favorite from Mike Cribben, who you can call. I've got a special agreement with him, which is why I left his phone number. I'm not setting the world on fire with this class, but it has changed the way we do some business. The email signature is a great idea, and I teach you how in Gmail or MacMail or Yahoo how to set up signatures, okay? I used to send letters to apartments that expires to the tune of $1,200 to $1,500 a month, and I talked to him. He said he was spending over $1,000, $1,200 a month mailing these out. I've started using Spokio to find email addresses and started sending emails instead using your method. 2 weeks ago, I only mailed 240 and sent 60 emails. Letters gave me 11 responses, so he spent over $200 and got 11 responses. He sent nothing with a quarter of it and got 21 responses. Thanks for the tip. And this is what he considers not setting the world on fire, guys. By the way, I've already sent to 39 FSBOs and had 7 appointments. Got 5 listings. 1 is already sold and closed. It was a cash deal. 1 more is under contract. Class had great ideas at work. And I told him, Mike, I don't know what is setting the world on fire, but you must be a rock star where you have 2 closings from this in the first 3 weeks. And he said, yeah, he's a rock star. agentmastermind.com/FSBO, code AMM. The real question you might have is, are you going to get started? Are you committed to making your business better? Is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to explore this in more detail? Remember, you get lifetime access. You get weekly live support. You get over $2,400 worth of material for $149. You have a 60-day money-back guarantee. And this is all for a program that should pay itself back 20, 30, or 40 times with your first FSBO closing. Okay? I want to exceed your expectations. I mean, this is the whole key to working with a for sale by owner is do more, provide more service than they expect.
You sure you want to do this one, Mike? This is a big one, Mike. Be careful. There's a lot on this call. You sure you want to do this one?
I'm going to do this one. For those of you that sign up today, I will let you, and I say 17, but anybody that signs up today, you'll get a private coaching call with me. Okay, and these calls are a half-hour coaching call. We're going to have to schedule them out, and it may take me 3 to 4 weeks to get through all of you that want a private coaching call. I normally charge between $300 and $500 for an introductory coaching call, but I will give you a real half-hour private coaching call based upon what you want to talk about, whether it's for sale by owners, expireds, time management, anything you want. But that's only for people that sign up by midnight tonight for this. And that's at Agent Mastermind.
Hey, I was just curious. You mind if I sit in on a couple of those calls just to kind of hear what the questions are?
We'll buzz you in so you can hear what we do.
Okay. Okay, awesome.
So
thank you.
Here, you can sign up at Agent Mastermind. You'll see a sheet. You got the money back guarantee on it. If you have any questions and you're too shy to ask them now, we're going to go to the question and answer portion of this. I can't see the question, Scott, so.
Yeah, that's cool. And I want to show them. You mind if I just, so let me just show them how to, just to make sure that they get this right. I'm gonna swipe the screen back for a second. All right.
Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to, by the way, this little blurb thing is pretty cool. So if you go to Agent Mastermind, can you all see my screen?
No, but I can go to it. Hang on. Oh, now we can.
Hold on one sec.
You're
okay,
there.
Cool. All right. So Agent Master / FSBO. I want to show you guys how to properly put in the code because I don't want you to miss out on this. So it's so what you do. Let me just refresh this here. It's 149. If you put in the AMM, I already put it in just because it already took place.
Right.
I'd have to clear my cookies. I apologize.
To 149.
AMM, yeah, put AMM here and then apply, and then that knocks it to 149, and then you'll be good. So you can check out with a credit card or PayPal, whichever is convenient for you. So I just wanted to make sure you didn't miss out on the code, so it's right there. All right.
Great. So what question?
All right. Let's see. So let's go back to your screen just so they have that. Whoops. I wanted to make presenter. Okay, I threw it back to you, buddy.
Okay, so I'm going to show my screen.
All right. So
here it is. 678.
Okay, there
my
we go.
phone number 678-232-0927. You can call me, mike.stott@mac.com. It's a one-time payment. There's no monthly fees. There's no anything else. It's just you're going to get one charge and do it. And I see people are signing up left and right on my emails, just blowing up. But are there any questions that people have now that we could answer for them, Scott?
Yeah, there is. So let's see. Sharing slides. Okay, so to get a copy of the recording and the PowerPoint, just contact the loan professional that sent you here. And if for some reason you're not getting those invites, go to our private Facebook group that's 14,000 and growing. It's facebook.com/agents. Excuse me, facebook.com/groups/agent mastermind. And just say, hey, I'm not getting the invites, and we'll make sure and set you up with a sponsor in your area, okay? Okay, so here's a good one. Most sellers here in Florida are saying no and say the buyers will be responsible for the agent and all closing costs. House is overpriced. Do you keep going with these sellers?
It depends on how overpriced it is, how badly I want the listing, what their motivation is to sell. But assuming they've got a job transfer and they're going to have to get more, motivated because it's a job transfer, it's an area that I want to work, yeah, I'd go see it and then decide whether I wanted to follow up with them or not, because they're just, see, human nature is when we're exposed to a new idea or an idea that's different, our first response is to say no. So it's just like when you walk into a Macy's or a department store and they say, can I help you? We say, no, thanks, I'm just looking, which is code word for them to leave you alone. Whereas you go into a good sales store, they'll ask, what can I help you find? And you're not allowed to say yes or no. And so these are just people that have learned that most real estate agents get off the phone and you say, hey, that's great. There's several reasons why I want to see your house that have nothing to do with listing it, and I might have a buyer that would be willing to work under your terms. When could we get together? But you're going to have to learn that, and we cover that in more detail, and it's a great question to bring to one of the Tuesday sessions.
Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, here's a great one. Laura, we appreciate you. She says, hi, Mike. It's Laura McGowan. I hope I said that right. I am a member of Agent Mastermind and had a handful of my friends, other agents on the call. Every one of them is purchasing your FSBO system. Thank you so much. So appreciate that. Great. Man, I tell you, I can't wait to hear some of these coaching calls actually. And I've been inside to see the course, and amazing course, man. Congratulations on putting that together. I really commend you on that. It's awesome.
Thank you. It is a good course. We're proud of it.
The call that you do from 11 to 12, is that Eastern time zone? I believe.
Yeah, Eastern time zone is 8 to 9. Okay. And if I start getting more than like 10 to 15 people on it, we'll add a second hour. That will be in the afternoon.
Okay, cool. Hey, question for you. How many FSBO deals a year has Mike been doing? Ismail is asking.
I've been doing about 20 a year for the last 4 years, and it's been strictly a half an hour a day.
All right. Lisa says, already set up program with specific dates. Not sure. Do you provide them with market reports so they can be realistic with price? Great question.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will give them, one of the big keys that we give them is the Zillow estimate. We show them how they can make their own owner remarks. And then I can do a market analysis. And I show them their tax office. And I say, how'd you arrive at your pricing? I'm very realistic. And we discuss that a lot in weeks 2 and week 3 of the course.
Awesome. What is you mentioned a book that you purchase every year. Is that and a lot of people are asking what the name of the book was. Is it from NAR?
The National Association of Realtors Survey of Home Buyers and Sellers. It comes out in November each year.
Okay, perfect. And here's a great one by Rob. He says, can this material easily work on expireds too?
Yeah, we have an expired course also. But you'd learn a lot. So I'd recommend taking this, and then if you like our style, I'm pretty sure we're going to be offering the expired course later this summer.
Down the road. Yeah, I love marketing. We did a class on marketing to expireds using what's called the flower pot strategy. It was a lot of fun. Right. The people have great results, and I'm sure yours, with your system added to the, like you just up your closing ratio,
Yeah.
So the website.
There's lots of FSBO courses out there. I've taken all of them because I'm constantly trying to get better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, guys, but Warren Buffett reads 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day he reads, so he's always learning. So when you said always be learning, I can't stress that enough. Like write small checks to cash big checks. You might buy a course. You might buy this course for for $149, and one little bitty nugget will make you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? Just one little way you say something, change it. All right. Included with the is there a call list system like Mojo included with the material? No. There's recommendations we can give you, but phone burner. There's that. What's that one you brought up that I think it's tied to FSBOs? And you said it.
Vulcan 7 has a phone burner.
Vulcan 7. Yeah, Vulcan 7. Yep, that's a great course. Let's see. So Ronnie says this course is so valuable in comparison to the cost associated as well as the non-pressure approach that is more my personality style. I'm excited. Are there a lot of KW agents in Arizona who have signed up? Everybody wants to know who's competing with them, so I love it. Yeah,
they're not at all, and don't worry about competition. You always have competition, but what this is so based upon is your service and your effort and your level that it really works.
Okay, it sounds like there's a huge mad rush of somebody says the page froze or something when they were trying to sign up. So James, you have the number here. So if for some reason it doesn't, if you don't get an email saying welcome to the course, which you should get after you sign up, just give that. Is that okay, Mike, to give that number a call?
Yeah, give me an email and we'll send you the course.
Okay, perfect. All right, Mike, I think that's it, man. We're at the top of the hour. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. Awesome
Again,
stuff.
If you guys have any questions,
some massive results.
That you were too shy, give me an email or give me a call. I do have a doctor's appointment and then a listing appointment this afternoon, so it may be tomorrow before I get back to you, but I will get back to you.
All right, and we'll leave this page up. Mike, we'll leave this page up just because they are having some issues. We'll leave it up till tomorrow at noon. Does that sound good with you?
It's fair with me.
Okay. All right, and Stephen, we are live. All right, thanks so much, everybody. See you same time, same place next week on Agent Matt.